Hello. I want to welcome everybody to the third episode of What the Bell Sports Talk. I'm your host, Chaz Bell Sr. Want to thank everybody thus far who's been liking and subscribing my videos. People who just been viewing it, for the hell of it. I appreciate that. One thing about it, I don't just do this for me. I do this for us, so we can discuss and we can talk and uh, make our points and opinions and facts and things of that nature. Like I told you before, everybody has an opinion. Some people have facts, but this is what we do this for, so everybody could chime in and talk about it. Normally, I'll do my video on Monday, the day after Sunday. Let the football games go about, figure out who did what went down. But I had to wait to today, obviously, because our Cincinnati Bengals played Monday Night Football last night, as we all know, because we all watched it. And there's a lot to talk about on that, But we're gonna talk about a few things, but we're not gonna elaborate too much on it because we already know what we all saying. The first thing I always like to start off to talk about positive. The positive thing that I liked yesterday, again, the Bengals got the toss. So we received the ball first, just like we did last week against Kansas City. I'm big for a team who gets the ball first because the thing about it is your object, go put some points on the board, put the pressure on the other team, make them have to work or get out of their different strategy just to match up to match with you on your points. Um, Man, we didn't just go and put up three. Joe Burrow, he put that ball, he put that ball right on the money to Chase. Beautiful bomb, beautiful bomb. And I remember saying before the game came on, I said, and this is no BS, I said, Joe's going to throw for at least two touchdowns. He's going to have over 300 passing yards. Jamar Chase will have two touchdowns, and we'll rush for over 100 yards. And that's exactly what happened. So the Bengals, they did that. I don't think anybody who watched the game could say offense didn't show up and do their thing because they did. They definitely did. That was the positive. So going on some negative. First time Washington has the ball. They march down the field. They're completing passes, running the ball. They doing well. We allowed them to score. Well, defense did have. We stopped them twice within the goal line, but we did also have an offsides penalty. But that next play they had ran it in. So now we matched up 7-7 or 6-6, however you want to label it. Um, one thing I don't like, I didn't like is, you know, that speed back they had. His name's Eckler. He actually went out. He got hurt. He went out, and I don't want to see anybody be hurt, but I was glad that man was walking off the field because we have a problem with speed backs. We have a problem with open field people who could just get off on us, and that was a sign that they were just starting to do. He the play he actually went out, got hurt on. He didn't get hurt on this play, but their second touchdown, it was a 24-yard run. He scored on the left hand side, just as open as just available. Like, hey, go for it, and that just brings up our defense. It brings up our defense. They had 3 rushing touchdowns the whole game. They rushed for over 100 yards. Our defense. I think that's the biggest problem right now with our Cincinnati Bengals. And I say that because if you look at the first 2 games, our offense didn't do anything against New England. We were flat. We wasn't no point by no means on the offensive side. Second game, we showed improvement against Kansas City. We showed improvement. Joe came out looking pretty damn well. Everybody was getting involved on the offensive side of the ball. And yesterday, we come out. First drive. He capped it off with that long pass. So offense is definitely doing our thing. This defense. I got a problem with two people in particular. One is a veteran on the defensive end of the side of the ball. Sam Hubbard. Man, where are you at? What's really going on with you? You're an Ohio State Buckeye, man. Like, where are you at? In 3 games, you got a total of 5.5 tackles. I'll give you 6. In 3 games. You had 1 tackle last night. You are our second biggest star on the defense. Not the defensive line, on the defense. And I'm not taking away nothing from Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, our linebackers. Other names we got. We got names on our defense. I'm not taking nothing away from them. But Trey Hendrickson, you're our number 1 defensive player. Sam Hubbard, you are our second defensive player. And, man, you ain't nowhere to been found that these 3 games. It's hurting us. You're not there making tackles. You're not there getting involved, making offenses struggle. If I'm correct, and I believe I am, we had 1 sack yesterday. 1 sack. We are playing a rookie quarterback. And for the record, that was the first time I ever seen that young man play. Daniels, that young man, listen, he is going to be a future star. Not even a future. He's about to become a star ASAP. That young man showed confidence and poise in the pocket. He showed that I can lead this team. He just went out there and he reminded me of, and this is a different sport, but he reminded me of Steph Curry, just out there, not just playing a game that you put a professional in, but you're out there playing your professional game and you're having fun. When does Steph Curry don't go out on the court and don't have fun? This man is not out his job and he's serious facing all this. Now, don't get it twisted. The man is about his business, but he's out there having fun. And that's what that young man reminded me of doing yesterday. Reason B, we made it easy for him also. He's very talented. We made it easy for him. The hurries. He didn't really have any of those. If he felt the pocket was collapsing, he would dip off to the left or right, and the man got wheels. We seen him put a move on a couple of our DBs, a couple of our linebackers, just falling in the ground because he shook them. You know, and it's that just hurts, man, when we have a person like Sam Hubbard on that side, man, who is just not complimenting our defense, man. Like you gotta show up, man. I know you're 29 years old, you've been in the league for a while, but you are a starting defensive end, man. You are a professional athlete. You gotta do your thing, man. We need you bad. You gotta be there, man. Especially on the D-line last year, we lost DJ Reader. He was our nose tackle. DJ used to clog up that middle, apply pressure, man. He used to push centers back, centers and guards just going back, making quarterbacks have to go left or right, or just applying pressure. We don't have that no more. He's gone. I believe he was with Detroit Lions. B.J. Hill, he got hurt the second game against Kansas City. So it's like, man, you're one of our stars on that line, man. And even if you're not a star in your head, man, you are a starter on that D-line. If anything is really broken on our defense, man, it's that line. We have to get the push, man. We have to let teams know it's not easy to run on us. You're not rushing the ball for 100 yards. You're not about to drop back in his pocket and have 6-7 seconds to peep out your receivers going down the field. We applying pressure, and we need to, and that's what we did not do yesterday. We must, man. A lot of people always say defenses win games. Man, that is true to a certain extent. Because if a team don't score, they don't win. So to an extent, that is a good point. That's damn near a fact. But in order to win, what do you have to do? You got to put points on the board, right? Now, a team can have 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, and score a couple touchdowns off of turnovers. But how likely are you going to win a game with defensive touchdowns? How many defensive touchdowns is a team going to really have? They're not going to have it. So defenses, they do win games to an extent, but no. Your job is to make the other team not score. Take the pressure off of your offense, man. Yes, our offense put up points yesterday. Somebody said the defense did good enough to keep the offense in the game. Like, what? No. The defense job ain't to keep the offense in the game. The defense job is to keep your team from not losing, not giving up points like we did yesterday. So defense is huge, man, and that's our problem at this moment. We still got a lot of football to play. It's not over, but that's a big problem. Now, that was on Sam Hubbard, man. I got a lot of love and respect for Sam Hubbard, man. Like I said, he's a Buckeye. I know what he's capable of doing, but, man, you got to show up, man. You got to take lead of that defensive line. Get with your guy Trey and be like, man, we shutting down everything. Nothing's happening with us today. We locking it down, man. Get that monster back. Get that dog back in you, man. Go bark and bite. You know what I'm saying? Like, make that happen. You can do that, man. It's in you. I've seen it. Another person who I'm frustrated with, one of our defensive backs, Dax Hill, number 23. Man, I'm not just upset with you for giving up a big bomb with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter when we have a possibility of taking over this game and winning. But let me say that again. You gave up a big bomb with 2 minutes and I believe 13 seconds left. A big bomb that put them really that just did it. Going back the last couple of weeks, man, I've been watching you. You've been missing tackles, several tackles. You're showing blitz. You're backing up slow. He got very quick feet. Very quick feet. The guy know how to maneuver his hips real well. His footwork is amazing. But his feet and his eyes focus is just not on the same page. You can't try to come back after the receiver got that step on you, man. You got to do better back there, man. You're starting to remind me of an Eli Apple. Now, some people used to argue that Eli was this and Eli was that. Man, I beg to differ. And Apple, he came out of what? The Ohio State. So it's like, come on now. Dax, you got to do better, buddy. Because you ain't been playing good football on that defensive side of the ball. You really haven't. We got this young guy back there named Stone. I'm just getting familiar with him this season. I think he's been in the league for a few years. But, man, sometimes you'll show up and make a couple good plays. But, man, no. Because you was back there playing safety on that pass where Taylor Britt got burnt. Like, come on, man. If we ain't playing good football up front on the D-line, at least our backups, our DBs, at least y'all showing up. Y'all not doing that, man. You guys are quick and can get to the football, but you can't get to the football after the ball is already in the air. You're supposed to already be playing defense, man. Got to get better on that, man. We got to. Again, Washington played real good. They surprised me, and Um, it's just like playing the New England Patriots. Again, it's teams that you should beat, and it's teams that you're gonna struggle against. But man, there's no way we should have lost to New England. We really beat the Chiefs. We beat ourselves. And then we just go ahead and lose to the Washington Commanders, who is a young team who is building. And they got a bright future. Again, it starts with that young boy they got. He was a Heisman Trophy winner last year. I believe he was with LSU, the Tigers. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. I don't want everybody to hang their heads down too much because there is still a lot of football left. It's still 14 games. 14 games. And it is 15. I want y'all to listen to this. We are 0-3, right? We 0-3. Which don't sound good at all. And we got the Carolina Panthers next week. Should be going into that game. If not 4-0, 3-1. Okay? There are 15 teams in the league right now that are 1-2. We are 0-3. So really, the only good thing about that is we're one game away from just being right in the mix with the mass more of the teams. We're just one win away from being right there with everybody else. 0-3 don't look good on paper. It don't sound good by no means. But we are not out of it, man. There's 14 games left. Again, we one game away from being right behind 15 other teams. So just knowing that, man, we still got a lot of can do and need to. We do. I gave us a record of 10-7 this season. I did. I gave us a record of 10-7. I think that's pretty logical. You know what I mean? Because every team is going to lose games. You know, every team will lose games, and I got us losing 7. So right now, we're already down 3. So that means we only got 4 more to lose. And we got 14 more games. Don't sound doable, but it is doable. It is very doable. We just got to get things together. The Bengals are a surprising team to where they do show improvement. But in order to win a game, you got to be on point on both sides of the ball. Joe Burrow, Chase, Moss, Yoshi Voss, all our scorers, all our offensive linemen, you know, though they did well yesterday. But if our defense can't complement our offense, we're going to have a problem. You got to play well on both sides of the ball. You have to. Will we do it? Excuse me. I believe so. I got confidence and faith in my team, and I'm not one of those guys who just going to wash them away and throw them away. I don't roll like that. I'm going to be with you to the last game. I don't care what the record is. I'm going to complain. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be, you got me, what the hell? You know, it's going to be a lot of those because that's the nature of sports. So we got time to clean stuff up, but we got to turn the table and we got to do it ASAP, as soon as possible. Again, it's 15 teams, man, that are 1-2, and we are 0-3. We're one game away from being with 15 other teams. It's 5 teams. There's 32 teams in the NFL. It's 5 teams that are undefeated right now. 5. 3-0. You got the Bills, the Steelers, the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are 5 teams that are undefeated right now. Everybody else is 2-1. Are they 1-2? are they 0-3. So it's still a young season. It's still early. It's still time for us to get it together, man. And again, the positive thing about this as Bengal fans, the one thing we can take from this, we are one game away from being in the mix with all these other teams. And I believe we will get there. And I believe the time does start now. It starts this weekend. So we're gonna stay positive, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's how we should feel. So with all that being said, man, it's so much Bengal talk that we can keep talking about, but it's no sense of crying over spoiled milk or spilled milk, whatever you want to say. It was a lot of negative talk. It really isn't. You can't come off a loss like that, and there's gonna be a lot of positive talk in the city, online, in the paper, or whatever have you. But so what? Get it together, clean it up, and let's be them Bengals that we are. Let's be them Bengals that people expect us. People said it's Burrow's not is he. Burrow's overrated. People saying, stop. Burrow ain't had nothing to do with our loss. So why are you saying that? Chase isn't worth all that. Y'all 0-3. A lot of negativity. Chase contract ain't got nothing to do with. The man had 2 touchdowns yesterday. From our overrated quarterback, them boys played good ball. Our defense fell short yesterday. We didn't play completely as a team on both sides of the ball. And again, that's why we lost. But stay positive, man. That's what it's all about. Now, before I get out of here, like always, I want to go over some of these NFL scores from last weekend. And we're going to go from there. So, we already know Aaron Rodgers and them and the Patriots, they had played Thursday night. The Jets won. Aaron Rodgers had a hell of a game. Good job, man. Next we had the Giants was at Cleveland. Cleveland, man, again, they Ohio, so I want to see them do pretty well. They had an opportunity at the end, but Deshaun Watson and the boys couldn't get it done. So the Giants had got that win moving forward. And the Giants, man, they got some good talent on their team, but they not that well. Cleveland should have got them. Packers over the Titans, 30-14. Chicago, they continue to struggle. They just like us. Lost to the Bears. Lost to the Colts, 21-16. The Texans, man, I just told y'all that they went against the Vikings. I just told y'all the Vikings undefeated. They put it on the Texans, man, 34-7. And CJ, Joe Mixon, they're my guys, man. So, but you can't win every game. Speaking of that, the Eagles over the Saints, 15-12. Remember, the Saints just had blasted Dallas last week before. They lost by a field goal this weekend. So, hey, you never know who gonna win, who gonna do what on these weekends. Broncos over the Buccaneers, 26-7. And I said last week, Baker Mayfield and Broncos, Buccaneers will be a surprise team. Even though they lost, they still playing good ball, and I think they'll be fine down the road. Next game, we had the Carolina Panthers at the Raiders. They beat the Raiders 36-22. We play the Panthers next week. You know who their quarterback is right now? Andy Dalton. They benched their young quarterback. Andy came in and had a hell of a day. He was 26 for 37, 319 yards with 3 touchdowns. He's been all over everything about football right now. So we will be facing him this weekend. And what I was saying about our D-line, let's go get him. All right? So shout out to Andy Dalton, man. I ain't going to never knock a Bengal. He's still a Bengal to me, man. He didn't do the best with us, but he didn't do the worst. So shout out to Andy Dalton, man. But not this weekend. Another one of undefeated teams. Seahawks 24, Dolphins 3. The Ravens and the Cowboys. Man, Derrick Henry, that boy shined. I mean, he's so big, man, when he run. I really was looking at them defenders, man. I really don't think those safeties and them cornerbacks, man, they don't want to have nothing to do with tackling him at all. That's a big dude. And the way he's just stiff on him, manhandle them grown man, man, them boys get out the way. You can't tackle a big dude up high anyway. You got to get him waist low. Take his knees out. That's where you should be tackling a big dude like Henry. He had 26 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. When you give your back the ball at least 20 times and he has 100 yards, you are likely to win a game. I want to see the Bengals do that. Next, we had San Francisco at the Rams. Rams got them 27-24. Man, 49ers missed. They dialed Christian McCaffrey. Man, he a monster, man. He's still down. I don't know when he coming back, but they need him. Next game, we had the Lions over the Cardinals, 20-13. Chiefs and Falcons. Chiefs over the Falcons, 22-17. The Falcons had the ball on the last play. It was 4th and inches. All right? I've seen this. I don't know who calling their plays down in Atlanta, but they tried to do a sweep to the left. And it was going in slow motion. It was horrible. It's 4th and inches, and you playing the Chiefs. All they had to do was sneak that ball or line up in an I formation and run that ball off the middle. They want to run off to the left. And you know what happened? Game over. Kansas City won. You got to make better play calls, man. That's important. Next game, which was actually yesterday, it was the other Monday night game. The Bills just mangled the Jaguars. I like Trevor Lawrence and them, man, but they need some help. They got to figure out what they're going to do. But shout out to the Bills, man, who played good. And again, last game, Washington over the Bengals, 38-33. We talked about that. The Bengals will bounce back. I got faith in my team. I think we'll turn our season around. We'll see what we're going to have. And I believe we will have a good one. So again, that's my 3rd episode of What the Bell Sports Talk. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Stay tuned later on this weekend. Later on this week, we'll talk about some upcoming college games. And we'll talk about some previous college games that we just had this weekend. We'll talk about some upcoming college games. And we're going to get back into the matchups for NFL this weekend. So again, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. It's your host, Chaz Bell Sr. Have a good night. Peace.